right, we're going to get started. Notice is hereby given of the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Town of Westfield and the County of Union, New Jersey at 7:30 p.m. on the evening of Tuesday, June 21st, 2016, in the boardroom of the Administration Building, 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey. The purpose of this meeting is to transact the regular business of the board and to transact any other business to come properly before the board and to conduct a board workshop. This is to advise the general public and to instruct that it be recorded in the minutes that in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled the Open Public Meetings Act, the Westfield School Board on Thursday, June 16th, 2016, caused to be posted at the office of the Board of Education located at 302 Elm Street, Westfield, New Jersey, and delivered to the Westfield Leader, the Star Ledger, the Westfield Library, Town Clerk of Westfield, Tap into Westfield, and Patch.com, a meeting notice setting forth the time, date, and location of this meeting. Dana, can we have a roll call?
Mark Friedman.
Here.
Brendan Galligan.
Here.
Robert Garrison. Chris Langhart.
Here.
Jenny Lights.
Here.
Gretchen Oleg.
Here.
Peggy Oster. Here. Charles Ostroff.
Here.
Mitch Slater.
Here.
If you'll all join me in the flag salute. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So we're actually going to start our announcements today from the podium, and we're going to begin with the announcement with a very special recognition of our state champion boys tennis team. What an impressive list of accomplishments. So you are not only Group 4 state champions, the first time Westfield has won this title since 2010, but you're also state sectional champions, conference champions, Union County champions, and Westfield Invitational champions. You earned the semi-finalist ranking in the Meet of Champions tournament, the Brian Bennett Invitational, and the Newark Academy Invitational. And among you are singles and doubles champions. So congratulations to all of you. So thanks for carving out some time in this busy last week to attend our meeting. I know that especially for our seniors, there's certainly a lot going on. So we're going to start by recognizing the captains. When I call you guys up here, if you wouldn't mind coming up and then staying up here until we're all done. First of all, Tyler Roth. Hi. So Tyler was the Union County Singles Champion. Congratulations, Tyler. And then co-captain William Kelly. And his doubles partner, Max Carl. The other seniors on the team, Ryan Dang. Andrew Natko. Aaron Tavesey. Juniors, Owen Bartok. Owen was the Union County first doubles champion. Congratulations. Noah Wright. Noah was the Union County third singles champion. Sophomores, Damian Ruperel. Union County second singles champion. Robert Factor. Jacob Tannenbaum. And finally, our freshman, Matthew Bartok, who is also Union County first doubles champion with your brother. Congratulations. Matthew Sue. So this entire team of 13 excellent tennis players is coached by George Kapner, who has been coaching Westfield High School boys tennis since 1991, or for 26 seasons. In 2008, he was named the NFHS Northeast Regional Coach of the Year. And in 2010, the Star Ledger named Mr. Kapner New Jersey's Coach of the Year. He was assisted this year by Jeff Knight and Westfield High School graduate Adam Gherkins. Can you please come to the podium?
To the board, thank you so much for honoring these young men. They are literally among the best and fine examples of what Westfield has to offer. I had the fine opportunity to teach in this district for 40 years, and I am just exhilarated that you're allowing me to continue to coach because I get a chance to be with young men like this. This was an incredibly special season. In order to win the Group 4 state championship, we had to, in a Group 4 semifinals and finals, we had to beat two teams that had previously beaten us this year. And for those of you who play tennis, you know that that is a very difficult thing to do. Somebody beats you, to turn it around and win the next time you see them takes an enormous amount of guts and desire, and that's what defines this group of young men. This was so much fun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have to leave because we're being honored by the town council, so we'll make some more seats for other people. Thank you again.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
I thought of that afterwards, like about the child study teams. Like, told myself about that.
Our next announcement, we are going to congratulate two track and field athletes, one of whom is not here. Jelani Pierre, who will be graduating this week, won this Group 4 Section 2 Long Jump Championship. And Jelani, a three-sport athlete, was not able to attend tonight, but we'll be sure to get his certificate to him. But Brooke Schaefer is here. And Brooke Schaefer is ending her Westfield High School career as she graduates this week and is attending Lehigh University, I believe. To run track, correct. Come on up. I might as well have you here while we're talking about you. Come on. So Brooke won the North 2 Group 4 sectional title in the 800 in indoor track. So we wanted to congratulate you and also give your coach, Jen Buccino, not only to congratulate her, but to give her an opportunity to talk a little bit more about your great accomplishments. And this is for you. Thank you for all your hard work.
Brooke has been a member of the cross-country winter and spring track teams for 4 years, and I've had the privilege of working with her for all 12 of those seasons. This past season, her senior season, was her best to date. This winter, as Brooke placed second in the 800 at the county championships, She came to the state sectional, or North 2 sectionals as mentioned, and from the moment the gun went off, she took the lead and controlled the race and finished in her personal best time. She came back because that qualified for her for the group championships, where she finished second, and she set a new school record of 2:17.13. Then she went on to the Meet of Champions, her first as an individual opportunity, and she placed fifth. She was also the anchor of our 4x8 relay team all winter long. She teamed with Noelle Blackford, Emma Jackler, and Julia Myers and placed second in the county relays and third in the Group 4 state relays. They also went on to qualify for the Eastern States Championships and placed sixth, and they established a new school record of 9:31.36, which is a 12-year-old record that was standing. This spring, she came out again and broke a 19-year-old school record. In the 800, she dropped it to 2:13.33 and placed second in the North 2 Group 4 sectionals. And she capped off her career with her aforementioned teammates in the 4x8 at the Meet of Champions this year. She anchored her team to fifth place, and they established yet another school record of 9:19.89. This record they've broken 3 times this season. They dropped it from a 9:27 to a 9:19. Brooke was named News 12 NJEA Scholar of the Week, and we just attended a luncheon this past weekend. And she, as you mentioned, she will be continuing her running career at Lehigh. So congratulations.
So we are also going to be acknowledging some of our award-winning students from the stage when they get here closer to 8. So while we wait for their arrival, why don't we go ahead and do some other announcements? Chris, do you have any announcements down on your end?
No, not today.
Mitch?
Well, graduation. Westfield High School's commencement ceremony for the graduating class of 2016 will take place this Friday at 3 o'clock, June 24th, at Keeler Stadium, weather permitting, but I've seen the forecast. It's going to be beautiful. If an indoor ceremony is necessary, it'll be held at the Westfield Armory. We wish all of our graduating seniors many more years of cherished friendships and valuable life experiences, and congratulations to all grads.
Thank you. Charles, do you have any announcements?
Yes, I do. Congratulations to the Makwas Elementary School community for raising $9,636 for the school library and for Imagine, a center for coping with loss, by collecting pledges for minutes read during the Reading Marathon week back in March. The school held a celebration this month to mark the 150,000 hours of reading time logged by the students. Very impressive, very impressive.
Brendan?
Congratulations to the McKinley Elementary School community, which raised $10,900 to benefit the Karen Research Fund to help in fighting pediatric cancer. The school held its annual mini-thon, in which more than 350 students and 30 faculty members participated in the school-wide event.
Mark?
This is from the high school. Congratulations to 56 Westfield High School students who earned 12 gold medals, 12 silver, and 10 bronze in this year's Grand Concourse, a nationwide test administered by the American Association of Teachers of French, the AATF. Over 100,000 elementary and secondary students participate in the contest nationally, with 56 Westfield High School students taking the test this year. Check the district website or the Westfield High School homepage for the names of these high achievers.
Peggy?
I'm very happy to announce that the last day of school for all students will be Friday, June 24th. Half-day sessions will be held on Thursday, June 23rd, and Friday, June 24th for all grades. Enjoy the summer.
Do you have any announcements? At this point, I'd like to recognize the public for agenda items only. Seeing no one come to the podium, I'd like to ask the board to approve the appointment of Amy Root to the Board of Education, replacing Mitch Slater from July 1st, 2016 until the board organizational meeting following the annual school board election. Can I have a second? Mitch, thank you. Dana, roll call, please.
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yes.
Chris Langhart.
Yes.
Craig Janolik.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Astroff.
Yes.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
So now that it's official, Amy, welcome. First and foremost, I just want to acknowledge and thank the 11 community members who threw their hat in the ring and applied for the open position. We were really impressed with the caliber of the community members, and it was a tough decision. But we're thrilled that Amy's joining us. She brings a truly unique set of experience and skill set to the table, and we're excited for you to work with you. So congratulations. We'll get to you later, Mitch. We're not skipping it.
Take your time.
Minutes. I'd like to ask the board to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on June 14th, 2016, and the private minutes of June 14th, 2016. Can I have a second? Brendan, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Great. We'll just keep going. Personnel.
I'd like the board to consider personnel items 1 through 42. 26 through 42 are at your tables as an addendum. A second? Somebody?
Second.
Brendan, thank you.
Jenny's not here, so.
I'm about
We
to
gotta
say,
step it up.
we're all off guard about that.
Any questions, comments? Dana, please?
Mark Friedman,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Chris Lineheart.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes, except I abstain from item 28.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Charles Ostrov,
Yes, but I abstain for number 35.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
That's it.
Great.
Yes. So one of the personnel items on the agenda is, they're all very important. We're getting ready for September, but one of them is particularly important, and it is the appointment of our new supervisor for science for kindergarten through 12th grade. So I'd like to ask our Assistant Superintendent, Paul Pinero, to come up to speak about the candidate.
Good evening. First, I would like to thank Dr. David Stoneback for his service of 45 years here in the district. I think we've all had a lot of opportunities to thank him, but I wanted to take one more opportunity to do that. And we wish him well in his retirement. With that, we had big shoes to fill and quite a challenge to find an excellent science supervisor. It's very difficult to find great teachers to begin with. It's even more difficult to find great science teachers because of competing with industry, and it's just as difficult to find the caliber of science supervisor that we would like to have here in Westfield. We've done that, and I'm very appreciative to the committee, to Barbara Ball for helping me screen through the 40 or so resumes and applications that came in. We found Tom Patterson, who the board has just voted on as part of the personnel package. And a little bit about Tom, and then I think he wouldn't mind coming up and saying hello himself, is that he actually started out in industry. He was a ceramic engineer from Rutgers, and also went back to get his educational leadership degree in May 2009. 9 years physics, high school physics teacher, and for the last 4 years he's been the K-12 science and technology supervisor in Madison. So Tom comes to us with references highlighting his leadership, his poise, his content specialty, his ability to work well with people. We saw all of that in his interviewing process, and we had a great opportunity to spend a lot of time with Tom today. He met with our supervisors to get to know them a little bit. He met with Dr. Stoneback, who's on his way out in retirement, to spend some time talking about transition. And I think his head may be swimming a little bit because of how many people we've had to meet with. But I'd like to ask him to put up with it one more minute, and unless Dr. Dolan wanted to say something first, I'd ask Tom to come up.
No, I think we'd love to hear from Tom. Very happy to have him joining us in Westfield.
Thank you very much for having me. I would like to thank Dr. Dolan, Mrs. Ball, and Mr. Pinero for this wonderful process that has brought me to Westfield. I am very excited to become a member of the Westfield administrative team. Having roots in Westfield and Scotch Plains, I know firsthand the strength of the Westfield community and the educational system, and I very much look forward to contributing to this district. For the past 4 years, I have been fortunate enough to be the district supervisor of science in Madison, and I will be working on using all that I have learned in that role and through my work with the New Jersey Science Educational Leadership Association to support our teachers in Westfield and make sure that we continue to deliver the high-quality instruction that I know that they are already providing to the students of Westfield. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We're thrilled to have you, and I know that I speak on behalf of the board when I say we all look forward to working with you moving forward. So welcome. Lori, I think our performing arts folks are here, so we'll have them come in and then we'll skip back to the announcements, right? Okay. All right, that'd be great. Yeah. No, they can stay.
We're all excited to meet mine.
What'd you say? You think so?
Yeah, everything's rolling.
You know the mic's on, right?
She knows with that.
That's the goal. Everybody has the second song. Do not.
Where's the water?
Need a bigger room.
Can you do something about that?
That's what I just said. Who's next to we'll get them.
Break through the wall.
Dogs in the right house today.
Yes. No, we only dropped them the dog walker last week because we're actively moving. So just got them away.
I think there were 2 sets of brothers.
So,
The bar cop. Oh, are they? Right.
So I think we have almost everyone in, and feel free to squeeze in. Sorry, it's standing room only. So we also have the pleasure this evening to recognize students in our performing arts programs who have recently received state recognition for their exceptional talent. As I call your name, please step to the podium to accept a certificate from the Westfield Board of Education in honor of your amazing achievements. So we're going to start with the All-State Mixed Chorus. And we want to pay tribute to the students selected for the 2016 All-State Mixed Chorus. This choir is an incredibly selective group chosen from all over New Jersey. 8 vocalists were selected from Westfield High School. Noah Bram. Alex Sestero. Joseph Maldonado. Catherine Moore. Abby Rothenberg. Matt Cerati. Max Wazalewski. Allison Brown. I've jumped ahead, haven't I? I see. That's right. Stay here for a minute and then we'll talk about what you guys do. So, Allison and the others, 3 Westfield High School students were chosen from hundreds of high school students statewide for the 2017 All-State Treble Chorus. Am I on track now? All right, so Allison Brown, Olivia McElhenney, say it. McElhenney, sorry. Nicole Player.
Busy back there.
Oh, she's there. So another round of applause for our amazing. Thank you guys, you can take a seat. Oh, wait. Their vocal teacher, John Brzezowski, sends his regrets that he's unable to join you this evening, but he's asked me to read this message. We are fortunate that we have so many talented students from the Westfield High School Choral Department that have been accepted into the all-state mixed and treble choirs. Being accepted is no small feat, considering the students have to pass an in-person and rigorous audition process consisting of scales, solos, and sight singing. Additionally, these students spent many hours preparing diligently and working on their own time to prepare audition materials outside of their scheduled choir class time. The students that were accepted will represent Westfield High School next year at the NJEA Teacher Convention at Convention Hall in Atlantic City, as well as the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark, New Jersey. Kudos to all the students who auditioned, and congratulations to the 11 Westfield High School students who have been chosen for these prestigious groups. Thank you, guys. So now we are going to recognize our instrumental students. First, Kevin Lee. So Kevin was selected to perform with the New Jersey Honors Chamber Orchestra. Congratulations, Kevin, and I'd like to ask your teacher, Craig Stanton, to say a few words about your accomplishments. First of all, you did skip it too. That makes it worth it, right?
So I should probably explain what it is. The New Jersey Honors Chamber Orchestra is an all-state level string orchestra. So at the all-state level, we have 2 orchestras, and one of them is the Honors Chamber Orchestra. This is actually the inaugural year of the Honors Chamber Orchestra, and Kevin is one of our representatives from Westfield, and we're really proud of him. He's a freshman. He came to us in October, and we love having him in the chamber orchestra, and he's great. So congratulations, Kevin.
And we also have a number of students who auditioned and were chosen for all-state band. So when I say your name, can you please come up? Dale Bayer. Michael Haig. Matthew Schiff. Trevor Sindorf. Oh, he's the coach. He's the teacher. I'm hoping you'll say a few words. Thank you very much. You want to say a few words about these kids? Thank you.
We're just so incredibly proud of Michael, Matt, Dale, Kevin as well. I think all of these students are representative of what the fine arts teachers wish for all of our students, is that in the tireless pursuit of perfection along the way, you learn a little bit about time management, about the process, about dedication to your craft, and we're just so proud of them for being terrific representatives of the program. Congratulations.
You guys can have a seat. Thank you very much. So certainly last but not least, we are going to recognize our drama students who have also had an amazing year. We're going to start at the intermediate school level, and I would like to ask Olivia Abel to come to the podium, please. So Olivia earned the Outstanding Middle School Performance Award at the Montclair State University Theater Night Award Ceremony for her role in Roosevelt's production of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Congratulations. The 2016 New Jersey Drama and Forensics League at the New Jersey 216 New Jersey. It's a night for me, isn't it? The 2016 New Jersey Drama and Forensics League Theater Fest. 3 Roosevelt students earned first place in improvisation. They include Nina Martini, Alexandra Sika, and Morgan Bull. We'd also like to congratulate their drama teacher, Kimberly Johnny, who guides our young thespians throughout the year and has had amazing results at these statewide competitions. So is she here? We'd like to ask her to come up and maybe say a few words about these students.
Our fall play has a lot of competition. This is not easy to land a role, especially the leading role, as a 7th grader. I congratulate Olivia on her hard work, her determination, and she's a natural. Mom, Dad, she's a natural. And our 3 students who are 8th graders who compete at the New Jersey Forensics and Drama League competition, they often wonder, improvisation, is it something you really have to prepare for? Yes, it is. And they showed their skill and talent by competing with many schools and many students, and a very interesting improvisation they ended with, I have to say. So you guys are wonderful, you gals are wonderful, and I'm very proud of you. Thank you so much for your hard work and dedication.
So as our talented intermediate students move up to the high school, we're thrilled also with the first-class performances and productions at our Westfield High School that rival professional theater. We're going to honor the Westfield High School students tonight as well. First, the 2016 Bucks County Playhouse Awards. We have a team of Westfield High School actors who performed The Actor's Nightmare, which won the Outstanding Overall Production Award. First, we're going to start with Stephen Herron, who also won the Outstanding Actor Award in his performance. Next, we're going to recognize the most recent theater awards. Oh, Stephen, you're in. I gave you the right one? Is that your name?
Yep.
The others. So these are your castmates. Luke Altman. Frank Colucci. Sophie Hurwitz. Kyla Nuzzo. And now we're moving on to, well, first of all, we want to congratulate Claudia Doherty for her outstanding performance as an actress in Baby with the Bathwater. Is she here? Now the Student Achievement Awards from the 2016 Paper Mill Playhouse Rising Star Awards for the Westfield High School Spring Musical Into the Woods. For student achievement for stage management, Devin Tibbles. Assistant Technical Director, Sarah Morton. Costume Design, Maddie Kevelson. Westfield High School's drama production last fall was perhaps one of the most challenging. What high school takes on Chekhov? Not many. Well, our high school did, and the Cherry Orchard won. So, for an outstanding production of a classical work at the Montclair University Theater Nights Award, here to accept the award on behalf of the cast and the crew is Westfield High School senior and actor Frank Guerrero. Also, for outstanding performance by a leading actress in a classical work, Madeline Huddleston. And for outstanding performance by a supporting actress in a classical work, Madeline Rosenthal. And last but not least, I would like to recognize their amazing teacher and director, Dan Devlin. If you could come forth, you want to say a few words about your amazing practice.
I would just want to say thank you to my students and to the board, both of whom work so hard to help us be better. The work that is put in by the theater students starting in middle school and even earlier, progressing until this week, is impressive. That's why several of them are not here tonight, because they have voice classes or they have et cetera, et cetera. And I'm very proud of you guys, and each, whether it be class or fall play or spring musical, you guys really rose to the occasion to tackle some of the most challenging work out there. And thank you for letting us do that.
I just want to thank you all for coming. We're incredibly proud of you and the work that you do, and certainly you represent us well. So we just thank you for giving us an opportunity to recognize you. And for our seniors, enjoy this week, and for the rest of you, enjoy the summer. Thank you. So we'll jump back into the meeting where we left off. Facilities was next. Brendan's not here. I think he stepped out for a minute. Do you know of any report, Dana?
No, I mean, I gave a report last week. We have all the Wi-Fi upgrades going on at all the elementary schools. We have the PA, replacement of the PA systems at all of the schools going on. We have boilers going into 2 schools, fire alarms going into 4 schools, so we have a lot going on. But everything is on track and
great.
Away.
Okay. Long-range planning, Ginny isn't here. I don't know. Are you aware of any report?
I don't believe there's an update at this time, no.
Policies, Chris is here.
Yep, I'm here. We had our last policies meeting on June 7th. I mentioned at the end of the meeting last week, we're going to ask you to approve in one sitting the policies we have under number 1. They're basically changes to comply with the state's regulation and code, and basically ministerial changes there. So we have to suspend our bylaws to approve these all at one sitting.
Correct.
So I'd like the board to consider and approve policies 1140, 1523, 1530, 1550, 2200, 2260, 2411, 2423, 2610, 2622, 5750, and 5755. Have a second. Thank you, Mitch. Any questions?
Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Chris Einhardt?
Yes.
Gretchen Olich?
Yes.
Peggy Oster?
Yes.
Charles Ostroff?
Yes.
Mitch Slater?
Yes. Stan, we don't have to do anything to take the suspension of the bylaws off now, right? We're done. Okay. I'd like the board to consider and approve for second reading the following policy, 2430, extracurricular activities. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Mark Friedman?
Yes.
Brendan Galligan?
Yes.
Chris Einhardt?
Yes.
Gretchen Olich?
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Charles Ostrov.
Yes.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
And finally, I'd like the board to affirm the superintendent's decision on HIB incident 16E13 for the reasons set forth in such report. Can I have a second?
Second.
Any questions? Dan?
Mark Friedman,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan.
Yes.
Chris Langhardt.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg.
Yes.
Peggy Oster,
Yes.
Charles Ostrov.
Yes.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
Nothing further.
I'd like to make a motion that we take a 5-minute break. I think a couple of you need to run upstairs to sign an important document. Can I have a second?
Yes.
Mitch, thank you. All in favor? All right, we'll adjourn for 5 minutes. Try and keep it to 5 minutes, please. So I would make a motion that we return to the public session. Can I have a second? Peggy, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, we are back, and we'll pick up where we left off, I think, was at curriculum instruction program, which is me. So I'd like to make a motion that the board approve for first reading the curricula listed on the agenda. Can I have a second, please? Mark, thank you. I was not at this meeting, so if either Peggy or Ginny could just give a brief synopsis of.
Sure. Let's see. We heard from teachers who had been developing in the practical arts section, John Morrison, B. Diller, and Jason Ruggiero. Maggie McFadden, our assistant principals at the high school, was with them. These courses are currently in existence. Revisions are for core content standards. Emphasis for business and personal law, increased on consumer protection and employment law, decreased on criminal law. Sounds like a great course, so we were fascinated by it. The assessments are test, case study, group work, presentations, jury group analysis, current events. Child growth and development, again, revised for core content standards. Final project could be a book, a play, presentation, fascinating conversation about what the students personally developed for original content for this course. We're very happy that this course still exists. It's not every school that has child growth and development anymore, I think, covering emotional, physical, social growth and development, prepare for parenting or child care giver for pre-birth through adolescence. Modern foods, one of the most popular courses in the high school, offered every period of the day. Procedural and skill development. And then TV production 3, thriving again, realigned objectives, on-camera interviews, production setups, camera audio, pulling sound bites, writing voiceover, a very active course for kids learning about the involvement of producing television programs. Matt Bolton, principal of Edison, brought us Pam Friedman and Laura Pava for the computer technology courses, and computer technology 1, 2, and project technology. Again, these are 1 marking period each, and 6th through 8th grade, 6th through 7th grade introductory level. Serious changes in grade 7 and 8. Let's see, grade 7, 1 marking period, grade 6, 1 marking period, and grade 8, 2 marking periods. Grade 7, the new content is taking a business venture, developing a website using web design, programming, creating a database, using Excel spreadsheets, emphasis on advertising signage, creating a TV commercial, maybe a possible new project, trying to integrate technology skills into a real-world opportunity for the kids. And grade 8, They'd like to introduce multimedia editing, graphic design, a programming unit, maybe product design, App Inventor, which is an MIT product. And they're embedding digital citizenship concepts, which is something that all of our efforts have to focus on for kids as they're using more and more technology integrated into their schoolwork. Dave Stoneback arrived with these, what are they, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 courses in chemistry and physics, revisions for the next gen standards in science. If there, didn't write any other notes. So.
That's great. No, I appreciate it.
All good, and we look forward to also a review of where we're going with this with our new science supervisor. So I'd ask, so the subcommittee supports these revisions.
Great, thank you. Dana?
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yes.
Chris Lighthart.
Yes.
Ginny Lights.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg.
Yes.
Peggy Oster. Yes. Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
I'd like to ask the board to consider SIP items 2, 3, and 4. Number 4 is on the addendum that was at your seat tonight. Can I have a second, please? Chris, thank you. Any questions about either the second reading curricula or the overnight or district field trips? Dana?
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yes.
Chris Lighthart.
Yes.
Ginny Lights.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
Yes.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
Nothing more from curriculum. Finance, Mark?
I'd like the board to consider, is there any addendum?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hang
To
on,
32.
sorry. Yes, okay. 8 to 32.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess there were a bunch of changes. Okay, sorry about that. I'd like the board to consider finance items 1 through 32, and there were a number of addendums at your table. Okay, second, Mitch, thanks. The first 3 resolutions are related to reserves from a financing perspective. Dana, would you mind just running everybody through quickly
Sure.
what that's about?
Yes. You'll recall in the last couple of years, we have deposited funds into maintenance and capital reserve accounts that we then can use for facilities projects. So in order for us to do that again this year, we have to approve a resolution in June. We won't actually determine the actual amount of the deposit until we finalize our audit, which will be sometime in the fall, probably around October. What we're doing different this year is we're also approving or asking for approval for the establishment of an emergency reserve account. That is very restrictive in how you can use those funds. It is for an emergency, but it also can be used for health costs that exceed 4% increases. And I'm thinking that that might be something we want to look at when we close out our year because of the self-insurance this year. So if we approve it tonight, we will have the option of doing a deposit there in the fall. If we didn't approve it tonight, we wouldn't have that option. So that's why I'm recommending that we approve it this evening, and then when we get to the fall, we'll determine how much to put in each of those accounts, if anything.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? One other comment, we'd like to accept the gift of 2 granite benches from the science department to be placed next to the science wing at Westfield High School in tribute to Dr. David Stoneback. So thank you for that. Anything else? Dana?
Mark Friedman.
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher.
Yes.
Chris Lighthart.
Yes.
Ginny Lights.
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg.
Yes.
Peggy Oster.
Yes.
Charles Ostroff.
A yes, but abstaining to number 18.
Mitch Slater.
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you. Legislation, Brendan, any report?
No report on official legislation. I'm sure plenty of you caught the governor's comments today. I'm not holding my breath.
Okay, thank you. And we skipped over you. You were out of the room when we did facilities, no report?
We're on track for our summer projects, data wiring, wireless, along with fire alarm and intercom upgrades at the elementary schools.
Great. Technology, Mitch, any report?
No.
Okay. I'd like to ask the board to note the notes for the record. Do we have any unfinished business? Any new business? Any liaison reports? At this point, I'd like to ask or recognize the public for any questions or comments. Seeing none, I think I will head to the podium. So as you all know, tonight is Mitch's last night. So I will ask you, Mitch, if you'll join me at the podium. We have a resolution. Whereas Mitchell Slater has served for 6 years on the Westfield Board of Education with dedication to the children, families, and community members of Westfield. And whereas having served as chairperson of the Technology Committee, Mitchell Slater has championed the district's technology initiatives with passion and tenacity to maintain Westfield's tradition of excellence. And whereas Mitchell Slater has served on several committees, including Budget and Finance, Negotiations, Long-Range Planning, and Policies, and as liaisons to the PTOs of Tamaulipas, Roosevelt Intermediate, and Westfield High School. Now therefore be it resolved that this Board of Education recognizes Mitchell Slater for his volunteerism and service on the Westfield Board of Education from 2010 to 2016, and that this resolution be presented to Mitchell Slater on June 21st, 2016, and that a copy of this resolution attesting to the appreciation of the Board of Education becomes part of the official minutes of this meeting. So.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you the mic because I
Okay.
know you probably have something to say.
Just a few
Little
things.
something?
Just a few
I just want to say on behalf of the board, and I'm having a night, so I did write it down. I just want to thank you for your service to the district. You predated me, and it has been an absolute pleasure to serve with you. You are a rarity in that you're passionate. And as this said, you know, you insisted that we be a leader in technology, and you took us there. You're true to your word, you commit, and you stay true to what you truly believe, and you set quite an example for us in that respect. So we're going to miss you. I look forward to our board dinner where we can all kind of, you know, fete you or roast you or whatever
Sure.
you wish. But I'm going to turn this over to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Wow. Okay, just a few things here. Well, let me first say that I wish I had retired from the position before my good friend and board member colleague Rich Matesic, as he delivered such an eloquent and well-written speech last December, and now I have to follow that up. I gave serious consideration to just bringing Rich here and saying what he said, but I felt I could probably do a little bit better. I will try to keep this brief, as I know Mr. Friedman already has his car keys in his hand, and if this was the Academy Awards, he would already be playing the music to walk me off stage. But I'll save my thank yous, the most important part, until the end. I wanted first to start with a quote from a certain Jersey guy. Spoiler alert, not a shocker to my friends, Bruce Springsteen. Bruce recently wrote, "One problem with the way the educational system is set up is that it only recognizes a certain type of intelligence, and it's incredibly restrictive, very, very restrictive. There are so many types of intelligence and people who would be at their best outside of that structure that get lost." And in 1984, Springsteen wrote these lyrics for a song, No Surrender. We learn more from a 3-minute record than we ever learned in school. Well, tonight, boss, with all due respect to the borough of Freehold, while I strongly agree that there is genius in every one of our 6,000 students, I think you might have felt a little differently had you gone to school in Westfield, New Jersey. In 1991, when it came time for my wife Leslie and I to find a community where we wanted to settle down and start a family, education was, as I'm certain was for most in this room and watching, a top priority. I knew from growing up in Springfield that Westfield always had a strong school system and a history of excellence. We did our due diligence, we settled, and in 1998, our son entered Tamaulipas School. When we moved to the north side in 2000, our son and our daughter started at Washington School. Before giving you my perspective and the reasons why we are all so fortunate to have our kids attend Westfield schools, let me tell you what my kids told me. In preparation for tonight, I asked both Harrison, now a working man in Washington, D.C., and Georgia, a rising sophomore at the University of Maryland, to give me their honest appraisal of their K through 12 education in Westfield. Harrison talked about how some of his teachers were instrumental in shaping and building his character, and how strong relationships with them helped him grow both in and out of the classroom. He said he entered college with such a strong background in English and foreign languages that he actually felt bad for the kids that didn't grow up here. Georgia was very thankful for the way her teachers pushed her to do her best and to reach for goals that always weren't within her comfort zone. Though she felt a great deal of pressure to excel, a trait that comes from her mother's side of the family, she said her classes in high school prepared her extremely well for college and probably had a lot to do, here's the proud dad, with her making Dean's List this year as a freshman. At the same time, and this makes me most proud of our wonderful teachers and administrators, she said she appreciated how flexible and understanding her teachers were when times got tough. Now please know, I'm not naive. I know many of you have had kids that might had different experiences or having different experiences, but every child is unique. And overall, from the warmth of our elementary schools on day one to our intermediate schools during those difficult years, and finally our high school, our teachers and administrators clearly make our kids feel welcome, wanted, and worthy every single day. It's also fair to say, like any profession, there are great teachers, and unfortunately, occasionally those that don't measure up to Westfield standards. Which leads me to one of the questions I get asked the most as a board member: how do you measure the success of a Westfield education? Well, there are those that constantly worry about how Westfield is ranked according to this newspaper or that magazine. But all you have to do is really do what I just did. Ask your kids. Guided by the leadership of Dr. Dolan, the administration, and the Board of Ed, we're challenging our students to reach their highest potential and encouraging them to become creative thinkers and responsible, productive citizens in a global society. And that's what makes me optimistic about our children's future. That's certainly true today, just as it was when we moved to Westfield in 1991. What I didn't know then was that I would be fortunate enough to have an opportunity to help maintain that excellence and even possibly help make a little bit of difference going forward, along with the incredible 15 other board members that I've sat with at this table for the last 6.5 years. Since moving to Westfield, I proudly coach my kids in various sports. In fact, before Mr. Friedman and I even had kids, not together, of course, we coached Little League together in 1992. Actually, we won the championship that year, if I'm correct, Mark. Also, after moving on to Washington School District, I became very involved in one of Westfield School's greatest tradition, the Washington School Show, where I wrote, directed, with a future wonderful board member, Lucy Biegler, acted, and became the music director for nearly a decade. That experience was pure joy and truly gave a sense of how committed Westfield parents are about supporting the schools, even if it means making a fool out of yourself once a year. And that exists at every single elementary school, not just Washington, by the way. In 2009, I lost my dad, who was not only an amazing father, but a true mentor to me in so many ways. Education was very important to him, and he was very proud of the public education system. He saw what his children were able to do after getting a strong public education. Losing my dad was devastating, and I spent the year after he died searching for some special way to honor him. My dad, as well as my mom, who is here with me tonight, was a great role model in many ways. But one thing that always stood out to me growing up was the importance both my parents placed on giving back to their community. As fate would have it, I received a call from a friend in town suggesting I consider running for the Board of Education in 2010. My first response, quite frankly, was, "Are you nuts? What possible value could I add to an already successful school district?" But as I began to do a little research, I realized that even though I was happy with the status quo, there were a few areas where I felt I might be able to make a difference thanks to my background in financial management, media, and technology. After further investigation, I realized that although school boards may be small and local, they really represent the most important civic commitment we as citizens can make to our community, our children, and ultimately their future. I'm so glad I made that decision to run, and even more grateful to the citizens of Westfield for electing me twice, albeit once uncontested, and giving me the opportunity to serve. And I actually forgot one of my props. Jenny, can you hand me, there's something behind my table there. But it's important to have props with every speech, so I happen to have 2 props, so I don't want to blow it at this point. So, thank you. Nana. So I want to give a special shout out to my daughter Georgia, who at 13 years old created this sign and slogan, and made the entire experience even better. Running in that somewhat heated 2010 campaign was exciting, but also scary, as I knew deep down that I didn't have a clue what being on board actually meant. Until I sat in that chair where you are right now, next to Dr. Dolan at the time. I didn't know what to expect during my first few months on the board. I just kind of went with my gut feeling, with the helpful guidance of then board president Julia Walker and members Rich Matesic, David Finn, who had a year under their belts and helped make my transition much smoother. They, along with Ginny, our, let's say, most seasoned member, taught me that although I was elected as an individual, I really had no legal authority on my own to fix problems or decide issues. The ultimate judgment is not what one board member accomplishes, but what we do as a team. It's about checking your ego at the door and getting down to work. I must also pause and thank Roseanne Kerstead and all I learned from her about education in general, and her organization skills when she came to the board were certainly second to none. I think everyone would agree with that. I'm so proud of the accomplishments of the entire 15 members together as a team over the last 6 years. True governance comes through respect of fellow members, even if you see things differently. As long as you're working for what you believe are in the best interests of students, it's okay every now and then to cast an opposing vote. The Supreme Court votes 5-4, 6-3. Who are we to mandate that every decision be unanimous? With every vote, I always remembered that I was elected by the taxpayers and felt it my duty to represent their voices and needs, while at the end of the day, being respectful of everyone's opinions, board members, teachers, administrators, parents, taxpayers, and students. I still to this day wish we had a student rep on the Board of Ed, something I suggested when I initially ran, as I really feel the students in some way need representation at this table. Although we have Brendan, our youngest member, who is just a decade away, about that?
About that now.
About that, from Westfield High School, and has done an incredible job of bringing that reality to us. Over the past 6 years, as Gretchen mentioned, I served on various committees like finance, policies, long-term planning, helped negotiate some extremely difficult and at times very challenging contracts. But as I mentioned last week, I'm particularly proud of being chair of the Technology Committee. Surprisingly, this was only an ad hoc group when I joined, but today, I believe, has begun to make dramatic differences in creating not only state-of-the-art programs, but leading the way as our master technology teachers are now being acknowledged with award-winning national television programs, focusing on the innovative projects currently in place at our schools, giving speeches around the country, talking about what's happening at our schools. None of this happened without long hours of meetings, policies, and strong involvement from the administration, as well as every fellow board member, and especially those that served on that committee. To all of you, specifically Ginny, Mark, Rich, Roseanne, and Assistant Superintendent Paul Pinero, our Chief Technology Officer Brian Walker, his staff, Arvin, and our master technology teachers, who are just absolutely extraordinary, Janine Gotko and Adam Peasy. I say thank you again for moving us in the right direction. I also thank the public and the full board for financially supporting this desperately needed infrastructure and strategies for our future. I'm so proud to say that Westfield is not just state-of-the-art, but a district others around America now are looking to for guidance. We have come a long way, and I thank the public especially for supporting those measures. One other area I'm very proud to have helped make a difference over the last 6 years is helping both the board and the administrators better engage our community through all channels of communications. When I ran for the position, I strongly advocated for the use of social media in our district, not just to say that we have a Facebook, even though I'm streaming this live on Facebook tonight, or Twitter page, but to truly show transparency of everything that we do and help establish mechanisms for more community involvement in setting the vision for our district, representing the values of our community, and identifying the district's short-term and long-term priorities. I'm so proud of the huge leaps we've taken in this area, and I specifically want to thank Lori Korecki for all of her hard work, and I mean hard work, in making sure, as Mr. Matesic, I'm just going to steal this right out of Rich's speech, that the board's messaging stays on point and highlights all of our students' incredible achievements in the arts, sports, and in the classroom. You know, it's nice to have kids come up here with perfect scores, but what Westfield schools are truly about is so much more. So now a few quick shout outs. As I can see, Mr. Friedman just turned on his car using his remote. I want to thank our board secretary, one of my personal favorite hires, and clearly the most critical position around. Dana, as our CFO, is out there fighting every single day for every nickel, for every taxpayer, to stretch our very, very limited dollars. And I've been on the board during some real limited dollar years when I first got on, to help use creative ways in our budget to improve our schools and facilities. Thank you so much, Dana, on behalf of every taxpayer in Westfield. And I plan on telling every single one of them about how hard you've done this. If hiring great teachers is not hard enough of a job, our head of HR, or as a friend of mine calls it at his company, our chief heart officer, Barbara Ball, is second to none in the state of New Jersey. We didn't just become a top-tier district by accident. Barbara has been a key player in making that happen for decades and deserves our respect and praise. Thank you so much, Barbara. Both Paul Pinero and Mike Weissman play critical roles daily in our process, and we're so lucky to have them, as we also are to have such wonderful supervisors throughout the schools representing all the critical subjects that we teach here in Westfield. I also want to give a huge shout out to Mike Morris, who basically runs all operations for an extremely busy district, and during my tenure dealt with some incredible, incredible challenges, like Hurricane Sandy, when the schools were shut for 3 weeks or so, a few blizzards here and there, and installing new roofs like a true pro. Thank you, Mike, for all you do. There's way too many teachers and other administrators to single out, but I'll just say that we're incredibly lucky to have the cream of the crop running our schools every single day, and that makes life as a parent, as a student, and board member much easier when those challenges arise. And last but not least, there is our talented harpist. Many of you may not know that, who actually has a side gig that keeps her busy 24/7 as superintendent, Peg Dolan. Until I sat at this table, I had absolutely no clue what she did. And what incredible daily responsibilities and challenges that position entails. I've said it before, and I truly mean it. Peg is the hardest working woman in Westfield. I wish every parent and student could shadow her for just one day, maybe even just 1 hour, and see all the difficult decisions she faces and how she always manages them with class, dignity, respect, And most importantly, with one thing in mind, and that is the safety and the happiness of all 6,000 students in our district. I tip my hat to you, Peg, and appreciate all you have done for our children. Oh, and did you know that her brother Mark has written one of the great Bruce Springsteen biographies out there? I think it was Karma from the start.
I think so, I think so.
It's a great book.
He's going to be thrilled you mentioned it.
Available on Amazon. So I've mentioned a few board members tonight, and just want to thank again all 15 that I've had the honor to serve with. Each member has brought something unique and special to the table, and I couldn't feel better about leaving this board under the great leadership of my friend Gretchen and her VP, Peggy. Both extremely, very hardworking, smart women, and excellent leaders. Gee, I wonder if that could happen in this country in any other positions. We'll see. Though I've only worked with Charles, Chris, Robert, I know they are going to bring great value to this table. Brendan, as I mentioned before, is a Wikipedia about school districts and boards. I couldn't be more impressed with the research and tenacity that you bring to this table. Ginny, again, I thank you so much for your dedication and insight in technology and how critical you were at every one of those meetings. And although we didn't always agree at first or at the table, I do want you to know that your knowledge and your historical perspective has made this a better board every single week. Lastly, when I suggested to Mark Friedman that he would make a great board member, I think he actually threw something at me. And that might have been a year later, I'm not really sure. But I knew exactly what this board needed. Someone with a strong fiscally responsible background, and also a true innovator in technology in his day job, working with Steve Madden. And Mark, you've taught us, all of us, so much at this table. And I wish you very well and all the best on your victory lap during your final year. Or maybe not, maybe 3 more. To those who I worked with in the past, I just say, each one of you welcome me, help me become a better team player, and understand more about how this table works. I thank all of you, especially the incredible leadership and courage of my good friend Rich Matesic, a born leader, if I ever met one. So before I shuffle off to graduation, then back to just being Mitch and not Mr. Slater again, although it's been kind of nice, I wanted to make sure I thank my family for supporting my decision to run for office and listening to all my commentary, not the private stuff, throughout the years so patiently about what life was like as a Westfield Board of Ed member. It's not easy to be a kid of a board member when sometimes decisions are not popular, and Dad was out at meetings till all hours of the night during the week. Although I will say I grew my Twitter feed exponentially during possible snow days and Hurricane Sandy when I became a go-to source for information. I know my daughter Georgia hated that part of it, that half the school was starting to follow her crazy father. I want to thank my wife Leslie, who also has her busiest nights of the week on Tuesdays, which neither of us thought of before I ran for the board. We kind of realized that very quickly. But I appreciate her being here tonight, as she was when I was sworn in by a very close friend who's a Superior Court judge, and I want to thank him for honoring me by doing that. And since she's here tonight, let me also thank my mom, an incredible 89-year-old woman, I'm not saying nearly 90, she doesn't like when I say that, who actually Ubered here tonight, and also can text and Facebook with the best of them. She also provided dinners on Tuesday nights with my kids and me during my first few years on the board, which really helped me get here on time. Once again, let me thank Gretchen, the entire board, for honoring me tonight, and I can't thank the citizens of Westfield enough for their trust in me and granting me this incredible opportunity over the last 6 years. I'll be watching future meetings via live stream, which will be exciting. And I know that Amy Root, who's here tonight, will do a fantastic job sitting in that seat. And I look forward to hearing more exciting news from this table for years to come. I'll conclude with the great words of Nelson Mandela, who wrote, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world." Thank you very much, good night, and good luck.
All right. You're not done yet, because we are going to adjourn upstairs to set district goals and board goals. And I'm hopeful that you'll come upstairs with us and give us the benefit of your expertise. Thank you for that great speech, Mitch. And again, like I said, I really look forward to our board dinner in the winter, where we can all say our piece. With nothing further, I guess we'll just take a 2-minute break. We're going to retire upstairs to the conference room, and then we'll open back up in public to set goals for the district and the board. Thank you.